This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach. A trip to the state fair. And a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in-minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
This episode is brought to you by Google Chrome. You think you know a browser, but Gemini and Chrome? That's new. It can help you with practically anything on the web, like restoring a vintage motorcycle from a 50-page restoration blog, or finally break down that long article you've had open for weeks. Gemini and Chrome is here for it. Ready to make anything online make sense? There's no place like Chrome. Check responses, setup required, compatibility and availability varies, 18+.
Late night bites with friends? Already hard to beat. That first too hot bite of fries you couldn't wait for, followed by ice cold Pepsi. Now that hits different. Suddenly, the energy kicks back in, the night goes longer, and the laughs don't stop. Because Pepsi brings out more flavor, more fun, and more of the moment. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast instead of doom scrolling? Smart move. Another smart move? Getting help from one of State Farm's 19,000 local agents when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Listen to the heartbeat.
Chevy is called the heartbeat of America for a reason. With SUVs made to move with your rhythm. The versatile Equinox tackles your entire day. The spacious Traverse fits your crew and your whole weekend. And Trax brings style with value you can count on. All infused with tech that has your back, so your drive always hits the right chord. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Hello and welcome to an Islanders summer surprise. I'm your host, Dan Saraceni. Joining me on this August evening is my friend, Michael Leboff. And Mike, we had no real plans to do anything during the summer. We've, posted a couple of things over at the Patreon, obviously, but in terms of main feed stuff, we were on our hiatus throughout the summer. We're planning on coming back in October. And what did the Islanders do? They made some news. They had a jersey contest. We have a new third jersey now that'll be put out for the 27-28 season. They got people talking. We have another article that we're going to talk about. And more importantly, both of us have finished our fun family vacation time that we had this month, and we're back and rested and refreshed. And I don't know how much you thought about the Islanders on your vacation, which was at least in the continental United States. Mine was not. But you can't escape these guys. They're everywhere. And, here I was in Cozumel the first time I had internet in 4 days, and I look and everybody's like, oh my God, these jerseys suck. What happened? And I looked and, all of a sudden my opinion started forming. But anyway, so did the Islanders pop up during your family vacation time that you were able to take?
You know what? Not really. I was much more glued to the Australia-Bangladesh test match, which ended up being one of the biggest sporting upsets, maybe of the decade. Bangladesh beat Australia in the first test, and not only did they beat them, they stomped them. It was incredible. I was my sporting attention was more on that, and
right.
I was with Emily and the kids, and my father-in-law and his wife, and they're we just didn't really talk much Islanders, which was weird.
Hmm.
I thought everybody wants to just talk Islanders all the time, especially in Cape Cod. But no, it was nice. And funnily enough, I think like this summer more than any in my life, I feel like I've missed them less and thought about them less, just because as we said on I think one of our mailbag episodes, like anytime they creep into my head, I've just been like, get out of here, like get behind me, Islanders, because
Yeah.
I'm just not ready to be annoyed. And they left us with such a bitter taste in our mouth that I'm still not over that. And the Jersey Bonanza publicity stunt. I don't know what this is going to end up how we're going to all end up looking back on this. Kind of put them in my mind like a little bit, but not in like a man, like this is going to be our middle six. Like they haven't changed the blue line.
Right.
How are Simeon Varlamov's knees?
Mm.
Kind of way. It was like it was almost a weird way. It was like the Islanders, the Islanders, the brand, more than like the actual team.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's on purpose.
Yeah, probably a little bit.
Yeah.
I was listening today to our friends Sean Cuthbert and Arthur Staple on Hockey Night in New York, and they talked about the jersey as well. And Art brought up a good point. He's like, you have to separate the hockey ops side of the Islanders from the business ops, and whatever media relations or community relations, whatever department took over the jersey thing. You have to kind of separate those two, because you're right. Like the jersey contest was fun. We all had a good time designing jerseys, but at the end of the day, it doesn't change the roster, right? It doesn't make
Right,
anybody
yeah.
younger. It doesn't make Simeon Varlamov's knees not surgically repaired, So there's a lot. You have to kind of separate those two
Yeah.
things in order to fully enjoy the jersey contest.
Yeah, and also like I think you put it very, very well a couple weeks ago when you wrote your initial kind of takeaway on the whole thing. And your I don't want to say it was your takedown of Kelly Cheeseman, but you had your eyebrow, like The Rock, your eyebrow raised at him
Yeah.
a little bit. And I thought it was a very well written thing. You can of course
Thank
find that over at our Patreon. And I think it was a very well thought out, well propositioned article about how the whole thing felt, which was fun originally, right? Like this was a fresh, fun idea with a fan base that loves to engage. Just the Islander fans, like any fan base, but like Islander fans love it. We're very. I don't know if there's a more. God, I don't know if another fan base in any sport gets their fangs out about logos, colors, and jerseys than the Islanders, just because of how polarizing they've been in the
Right.
past, right?
Right. Everybody's got opinions about that stuff, and they're super strong.
And they are
Right.
they are like, you when you go and you watch like British. I don't know if people do this or if it's just me, but if you watch like videos of like old British Parliament arguments, and like they all like stand up and one guy says, and they always start with like a little clever joke and like a little dig at their opponent in this like debate, and then like there's a lot of harumphing and clapping on one, and then that person sits down and the other person is like, well, Mr. Speaker, and they go. And it is divided along party lines. Like you are either pro fisherman or you're anti fisherman, right? Like it's
I
like
don't know how anybody can like that jersey.
Yeah, yeah,
I love the fisherman. Yeah.
yeah, it's so pitchforks and lanterns out.
Right.
And yeah, it's like the old politics in late 1800s New York, where like the fire department won't come to your house if it's burning because you voted for the Tammany Hall guy or something.
Right.
Oh no, don't put out that fire. They got a fisherman jersey in that house. It's crazy. And I just don't know if there's another fan base that has gone through anything like the Islanders have in this regard. And I think it's a good thing. I think it says a lot about the Islanders fan base, is that we feel ownership about it, right?
Yeah.
We feel ownership of this team because it is a team that is embedded in the suburbs of our town. Like it is right there in everyone on Long Island would say, yeah, it's the Islanders are like in my backyard if you're an Islander fan. And that is very different from most other teams, right? Like you're not going downtown, taking a subway to the United Center. You're just like, yeah, no, you just got to take a right turn there on Merrick Boulevard and a left turn over there, and you're at the Coliseum, or now UBS, right? You're just going down Hempstead Turnpike. And yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing that we feel this way because, like I said, I feel like it's in our DNA. It's like it's on our fridge, right? There are magnets, like
Right.
Islander magnets on our fridge, just like you would have the your school calendar. You got your Islanders ones next to it because we feel that way. It's such an entrenched part of a community. And I don't see that in other sports. Like I think there's the Yankee thing, right? With like if the Yankees ever put a name on the back of a jersey,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be like this. It would be like the game's gone. Traditional, pure, the baseball purists and Yankee purists would just be fainting. It wouldn't be like this kind of petulance. It would be a very different thing. It would be existential, whereas this is more neighbors fighting about property lines and
Right.
such. So I I don't know if the what would you call it? The someone who's leading, what's the word for the guy who's leading it? The flag bearer of this entire operation, Mr. Cheeseman, Lord Business over there. He President Business, is that the guy from the
No, it's
Lego
Lord
movie?
Business.
Lord
I'm going to start
Business?
calling him that from now on.
Yeah, Lord
it's
Business.
Will Ferrell's Lego movie.
Yeah, Lord Business. I don't know if I will say this. I know that he doesn't understand this fan base yet, which is
Right.
fine, but I don't think he understood what the how this would unfold because
Right.
of the arguments aren't going to be like, oh, I like purple and yellow as a Kings jersey, and oh, I like the silver and black like the Gretzky jerseys. No, it's not like that. It's actually, there are scars here, man. Like there's a
Right.
lot of people who are wearing scars, some wear them proudly, some hide them, and yeah, as you put, news, they created an entire beat over this too.
Yeah.
So I mean, it took on a life of its own, and I think that was the intention from Lord Business. But I don't think that he thought the life that it took on its own was the life that this wasn't the life that he intended for it to take on its own.
Yeah. He definitely didn't see the can of worms that he was opening.
Right. He knew a can of worms was going to be open, just not that one. He's like, no, don't open that one. Open that one.
Well, right. Yeah. There's people that are like ready to fight somebody over the fisherman or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's like, and I have strong opinions too about these things. We'll get into them, but like, yeah, I don't think he understood that and about the fan base. And we're going to talk more Kelly Cheeseman a little bit towards the end of this segment here. But before we get into these jerseys, I do have to say, like, again, I can't kind of fully escape the Islanders. And I was on a cruise ship. My family and I took a cruise to the Caribbean, and they had a sports bar on the ship. It was the MSC Seashore. And I'm walking through the sports bar, and they have like, fake phony memorabilia flair hanging up on the walls. And they had like a hockey stick, a goalie stick. They had a cricket. I forgot to send you the picture. They had some cricket bats that I thought was kind of funny on the same wall with the goalie stick. And I look at one of the booths, and what's hanging there, it is a Felix Potvin Maple Leafs jersey. And so I took a picture, and I'm like, that guy used to play for the Islanders. It's not an Islanders jersey, obviously. He played for the Leafs before the Islanders, but I'm counting it as an Islanders sighting in the wild. So,
the cruise went unlocked. Everyone, to return to your rooms. We have to find out who took the Felix Potvin jersey out of the sports bar.
There was a couple of guys with Canadians hats on I saw, and because I wear like an Islanders hat, I have an Islanders shirt. I was trying to get their attention, but they never seemed to like notice me, and I wonder what their thoughts were on the Felix Potvin jersey. But the funny thing about the ship, we had a great time, but the funny thing about that ship, this is our, we've been on a bunch of cruises before as a family, and this particular ship had like a really weird layout, and we had trouble finding stuff. Like there's a lot of dead ends, and like if you walk down the wrong staircase, you wouldn't get to where you were going to try. So they might not have even seen the sports bar for all I know. Cause I mean, we kind of just came upon it by accident, and I was definitely the only person of our party of 6 who noticed the Felix Potvin jersey. But anyway, in any event, let's start with, let's do the Islanders jersey contest, but we're going to start backwards. We're going to start with the winner, our thoughts on that, and then kind of move towards the contest itself. And so by now you've all seen the winner is dark blue jersey, dark blue, base color with the lighthouse logo in the center. It used to be the shoulder patch during the Fisherman era. Now it's going to be the main logo in the center. Nothing up on the shoulders, just white numbers. And then it's got 3 stripes on the bottom and on the sleeves, 2 orange ones with a teal one in the middle. I wrote about this over at the Patreon too, when the 8 finalists were announced. I think that article might have come out a little bit more harsh than I meant it to. So, we'll break it down here too. But my thoughts on this jersey are, now that it's the winner, are the same as it was when it was announced as one of the finalists. And those thoughts are, it's fine. It's fine. It's a fine jersey. I think it'll be fine when they manufacture it. Again, this is for the 27-28 season. So don't look for anybody wearing this on the ice next year. But I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be cool to kind of see the Lighthouse logo in the center. But otherwise, it's fine. It's fine. I have no strong opinions on this jersey whatsoever. I like the use of teal. We'll get more into the colors too. But I find, much like the Carson Soucy trade at the time, I find it very hard to like gin up a ton of excitement for this jersey, but also I find it hard to gin up a ton of hatred for it either. It's totally fine. And, in terms of like how this shook out, I suppose it could have been much, much worse. But what are your thoughts on this jersey? Are you also maybe having trouble kind of getting something deep and strong about this? Or are you really in love with it? Or in hatred with it?
Well, that's I think that the whole point of this episode, and why I think it's been the jersey itself, plus like the way the contest shook out, with the way it shook out, I should say, was met with such like a kind of reaction. Was they were talking about it like, we got 80,000 submissions, so many creative people out there, this is great, we love our fan base. And then like the 8 designs were all very kind of safe, I guess was the best way. Some of them look cool. And I think if you're going to do something like this, if you're going to already go out on the limb and be like, oh, we're going to be creative, we're going to be try something that no team's ever done before, and then you land on something like this, I think that's why the reaction is as tepid as it is. Had the Islanders just like been like, yeah, this is going to be a third jersey next season, I think everyone would be like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like,
that's fine.
Yeah. People like the Lighthouse. They like the color scheme's good. I think most Islander fans were hoping for something just like a little more cartoonish in a way, like not like in a good way, like a little bit more, I don't know, risky, funky. Let's call it funky, like, right, something with a little more funk to it, like with a little more stank on it, right? Than where it went. And I thought that was the whole point of the contest. Right. It was like, we're gonna see some crazy stuff, and then Lord Business was like, yeah, you can't, there's so many rules here that we just didn't tell you when we were extracting your emails.
Right.
We didn't really tell you all the rules.
Apparently he said that they didn't want to do anything with white, right? Because their home and road rules, obviously, and the team that the Islanders are going to be playing at home are most likely going to be wearing white. And like, on a reasonable level, I get that, but then why is white an option?
Right,
like,
just say it.
Get it out of there.
Right.
Just say, we don't want to do white because the teams are going to be wearing them. You're like, okay, no problem. But how many did they get in white? They probably got 15 or 20,000 submissions with white as a base color. I know I sent in a couple that were like that.
Exactly. But yeah, like I guess that's why, because I think that's why everyone feels the way they do, or the majority of people feel the way. And then I don't know if this is still the truth, but nobody's like stepped forward to say, yeah, that was my jersey.
Also very weird. Yeah.
And I think this was part of what our as you said, like in I don't even know if I got to the point of what I was saying about the piece you wrote, which was cool idea, fun that the Islanders are the ones doing it to keep like the fan base kind of talking about the Islanders and to one another, and keeping message boards and all sorts of stuff kind of alive through the doldrums of July and August. But you still got to land the plane. Was the term you kept saying? I think they did. They might just landed it at the wrong airport. Maybe you were supposed to land it at LaGuardia, but you landed at Newark. I'm not totally sure.
East Islip. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I want to steal a phrase from one of our longtime listeners and one of our great patrons. Rish goes by Doc Ad. He had probably the best breakdown of it, which was an A idea with a B result. Like it's a
Yeah.
B result. The jersey is a B. It's fine. It's not bad.
Right.
It's not great, but it's not bad. And the idea was an A plus. Like it was just
Right.
phenomenal idea with a final result that's okay. Like it's not great, but it's okay.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like you said too, people had really strong opinions about these things, and it was lacking in the sense of creativity that I think we all kind of expected. And like the final 8 were basically broken into 4 regionals, we might as well call them. You had the Lighthouse Regional with the winner, and then an orange version that basically looks like an Oilers jersey with the Lighthouse logo in the middle. So that one, wasn't really going anywhere. You had the Fisherman Regional with the 2 Fisherman jerseys, one dark blue with an orange and teal stripe on the bottom, another one orange with blue and white stripes on the bottom. Then you had the NY Regional, which had 2 ones with the NY, the Brooklyn style logo, one dark blue, one orange with the blue kind of shoulder yoke. And then you had the Wordmark Regional, one with the Isles logo that they used in that Stadium Series game. I'll get back in a minute. And then one with the Islanders Wordmark, which was actually the second place winner. Like this almost won. And this is the Islanders Wordmark from the ill-fated black, gray, and orange trimmed ones, the Cameron Wong jerseys with the triangles on the side that you may remember either from the time they wore it in the 2010s or from the weird Islanders logo, because that's the Islanders version that we use in the logo, because those jerseys were weird. They were the weirdest jerseys they ever wore. And so I always thought that was kind of funny that, I used that Islanders Wordmark there. And here it is again. And I just want to say real quick about that jersey. It looked like a rugby sweater. Like it's got the stripe in the middle, the stripes on the sides, on the sleeves. I wasn't a huge fan. If it had won, I would have been like, oh, I don't know. I didn't really like it, but it's not that bad. I'm all for like reclaiming something that maybe wasn't cool at the time and like making it cool in a different context. The Fisherman is obviously just like this. I think that's kind of a neat thing that, people recognize the Fisherman and enjoy it. I think it's cool that it's finally sort of seeing, a resurgence, and people are kind of taking to it and again, recontextualizing it and giving it a second life. That's really cool. I had time for that Islanders curved Wordmark. I just didn't particularly care for this version of the jersey. So I'm glad the Lighthouse won, but had this one won, I probably would have had the same reaction, which is that it's fine. It's just fine. It's not too bad at all. Although I'm glad it didn't do it. The one I definitely did not like, well, one was that Oilers jersey with the Lighthouse.
The Oilers jersey was great.
And 2, and this is a personal preference. Again, I submitted like 10 of these things, and none of these were mine, obviously. But the Isles across the front, I never want to see this on a jersey ever again, because, again, it was used in that horrible, horrible, horrible Stadium Series game where the team just completely shit itself in against the Rangers in front of 80,000 people at MetLife Stadium and a couple of million at home. I never want to see that Wordmark on a jersey ever again. That's me. Like, I would rather see the Fisherman than the Isles, because like I can explain the Fisherman logo in a way that makes sense to me. That Isles, I just never want to see it. And those jerseys that they wore then were boring too. So, I mean, were any of these other ones, like, did they stick out to you as being really good or really bad? Again, a lot of these were okay. I was expecting a lot more from 80,000 submissions, and it sounds like you kind of were too.
Exactly, right. And this is the whole, I think you and I both had our antenna up about the way the Islanders were. I mean, we even said it before our season preview last year, right? We were like,
yeah,
I think that this team is maybe a little bit more concerned with looking cool in the.
This was your exact fear before the season started.
Right,
was
exactly.
this?
Yeah, like looking cool in this high school cafeteria rather than getting good grades like on the ice. Yeah, this is like the senior prank, I guess. Because the idea was met with such momentum, and the team and Lord Business they said they didn't say no to any media availability to do with this, right? And they made it seem the whole time that the messaging was like creativity. I think creativity was probably like the buzzword of the entire thing. And all these jersey designs to me were just, if the Islanders just boilerplated, took the most yeah, I mean, he said that they're like using AI to help weed out some stuff. Like if you said to weed out to an AI bot or something, where like just get us the 8 jersey designs that won't one of each
Mm.
logo or whatever that will get us in the least amount of trouble. I think that you probably get these.
Yeah.
I wanted to see some more orange,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people did. I think a lot of people wanted to see some like orange and some
Yeah.
teal, like
People clamoring for orange for years, and
yeah,
like they all got run out in the first round
and
of this thing, which is really surprising to me.
and even Lord Business himself said like I like the orange. Like
Yeah.
I think and he used the term challenger brand
Mm.
over and over, and he's like I think orange would be a good thing for our brand. I'm like, dude, there is orange in the brand.
Right.
Like, what do you mean? The
Right.
orange didn't just come out of nowhere. Someone
Right.
wasn't like, oh, the Mets look cool in orange. We should try that with
Mm.
the Islanders. No, there's orange all over the Islanders.
Yeah.
And I thought that, yeah, I don't know. It just, I think what Rish said is right, which is that like the idea was so solid
Mm.
that when you get something like that, it's gotta end better than this. And I think that
Yeah.
is the thing. And even with the, like you said, the 8 that they chose,
Mm.
which we're talking about, not, I didn't see like one person across various channels, right? Like this isn't just on Islanders Twitter or Islanders Reddit where things can get really weird. This is in, text messages and
Mm.
group chats and all over the place. Aside from the people that like were doing paid media, like the Pull the Goalie podcast guys or whatever they're called, like who are like, wow, this is the coolest thing ever. These jerseys are so fire.
Mm.
I think any Islander fan was just, I didn't see one Islander fan be like, I'm blown away by
Right.
this jersey. And when you're going through 80,000 submissions, and one of them is plucked out of the 80,000 once again. One of the best 8 of 80,000, so 0.001% is an Oilers jersey with just a lighthouse on it. Like this is
Right.
bad. That's bad. Like that's just
Yeah.
poor form. And that's and that a lot of people, as you said, clamoring for oranges. One of the oranges right away is eliminated because it's another team's jersey.
Yeah, basically. I mean, my thing with all that sort of like exactly what you just said, like out of the 80,000 they got to these, is that they have 8 finalists. 3 are the same exact color of dark blue. And 5 are the same exact color of dark blue, and 3 are orange.
Right.
So that's it. Those are the only 2 primary colors that they let you choose. And I was like, wait a minute, you're telling me out of 80,000 submissions, there wasn't one that was teal, or even just the Islanders
Royal blue.
regular,
Right, yeah.
royal blue, or okay, now we've apparently, like you said, moving the goalposts a little bit. They didn't want white, okay, but like there was maybe some cream ones that were. I know I submitted a couple of cream ones, like maybe some in black that would be again recontextualizing, an
Right.
element that people may not have liked at one time, and maybe it's cool now. Like that to me, that was the first thing I noticed was like, wait a minute, this is it. These are the only colors that we can pick, and I'm just fine. You just mentioning now that they use some AI thing to help them. That totally makes sense to me. Also, by the way, when they announced the winner, they used some like clearly AI artwork that immediately made people go, "This sucks," and it's like,
Right.
well, that picture definitely sucks. I'll tell you that right now. But I think the jersey's probably going to be okay because it's like, please stop doing this. But but the other thing too is they went to some players, and like Matt Barzell's been making videos. They showed a whole thing where like they had this like big board of like printed out jerseys, and like Alex Romanov and Matthew Schaefer are like circling them and talking about them. Cal Clutterbuck is talking about them. I think Kevin Connolly might have had a vote in there too. And again, it just got to me thinking, did all of these guys just decide that they wanted to wear dark blue? Like nobody wanted to wear any other color but dark, because we've seen this before. And like the fisherman jersey that's here with the teal and orange stripes on the bottom, I think is actually quite cool, but it looks like their reverse retro jersey, which was the same color. So we've seen that kind of too.
And they're doing
so,
they're doing a fisherman jersey like this year, right? The remix.
That yes, the hometown remix apparently.
That's like not that's jersey. Like this jersey that's just kind of, it's not the same, but it's like inverse. It's just white with
and it's got some.
you
like
can do that one. You could do white, by the way, but yeah, I guess.
So that's the thing, and this is what I wrote about. Like, there's a lot of questions here. Like, how many did the players see? Like, they clearly didn't go through 80,000 because that would be insane. And listen, I'm sure of those 80,000, some were horrendous. Jokers making everything the same color or whatever it was. I know that there were people like on different social media sites that were just like fans of other teams, like just making their jerseys with the Islanders logo. So like, Vegas Golden Knights fan would do like the gray with the gold, and then with just the Islanders jersey in the middle. Like Canadians fans could recreate a Canadians jersey with the Islanders logo in the middle, like something like that. So like you have to kind of discount all that stuff. Anything that was like green or yellow, I'm sure was discounted as well. Anything with Rangers colors, anything with red was probably discounted as well. So, but even still, if you got 80,000, assuming that some of them are junk or just unusable, you still got to be left with at least at the bare minimum 10,000 jerseys, or 20,000 jersey designs. So, and that's being very, very generous. So, again, back to our sort of central thesis, which is these are fine, but I think we all expected a little bit more creativity in the choices.
A central question that I always bring up, which is, who is this for, right?
Right.
And I think that when you ask that question, who is this for? And you're interviewing Kelly Cheeseman on the Empty Netters podcast, and he's like, well, this is for our fans. Or like,
yeah.
Well, if it was for your fans, it would have ended up very different. So I think that what ended up happening was the Islanders' business operations got what they wanted out of this, which was a shitload of emails to
yep,
to add to their
phone
collection.
Numbers, emails,
numbers, exactly. A lot of good press from all over the place, and like and Lord Business got to do like 3 or 4 more podcasts. He's becoming it's him and Schaefer for his face of the franchise at this point.
Right.
I don't know who's gonna win that one, but it's they got what they wanted out of it, and I don't think the fans got what we wanted out of it. Like which I don't think is the spirit of the thing. The spirit of the thing is like this. It's supposed to be for the fans. It's not supposed to be for the emails that you're going to collect. And that's what's kind of disappointing about it. I'm trying, as you said, like the jersey itself. I'm not trying to hold it against this jersey, this inanimate jersey design, at all. And
or the designers. By the way, we should say that.
Yeah.
These were all designed by people just like us. I mean, we submitted designs too, and like
we don't know. I think only one became public.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah, I don't even know.
I think one person, like they found one person, which wouldn't be that hard if you got the emails, but
right. But like they were all designed by people, and so we're not criticizing the people for their jerseys and their designs. We're just kind of we're just questioning like how we came to these particular 8 findings.
Yeah. What was the
right?
Yeah, and it almost is like when you hear they're making a movie about like a specific part of like history. You're like, oh my God, I've always wanted them to make a movie about the Battle of Trafalgar, right? And then you watch the movie, you're like, fuck, it sucked, and you're like, well, that was it. That was the opportunity, or it was okay and it wasn't that great. Like I've always wanted them to make a movie about the Jacobites in Scotland in the Highlands and like the Jacobite Revolution. In the 1700s.
I mean, you just described like literally 85% of all comic book movies.
Right. Yeah.
Like, oh, hell yeah, they're making this movie. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
yeah, exactly. Right.
But then every once in a while you hit upon something great, like, Iron Man or Blade or whatever, so it's possible.
Yeah, right. So if you got so excited because you're, the G.I. Joe movie's coming out, right?
Oh my God.
And then you go see it, you're like,
that's literally happened to me 3 times. 4 if you count the cartoon, Like, what is happening right now?
And so it's like this is such a good idea. They're finally gonna do it. Then you get that's what this has felt like. It's felt like a little But sorry, I interrupted you with that. I don't know if that was the point you were gonna make, but
what I was gonna say was like people probably listening to this being like, you guys are calling for creativity. What were your ideas? What were your creative ideas? So, and again, this is no sour grapes at all. I know that they got a lot of submissions, and the chances of one of mine getting picked were pretty thin. But like, I probably put way too much thought into these, and I submitted like 10 of them. But one of the ones I thought was kind of neat, and it would have been a little bit different. Was I thought to myself, okay, what does Long Island have that can be represented in the Islanders jersey? And I was like, well, it has beaches, right? Like, I mean, what's an island if not beaches with a bunch of stuff in the middle, you know? And so that's why I was thinking, okay, well, what if we used like sand in the design? And basically what I did was I took the sort of fisherman pattern jersey, and on the bottom, you got a big kind of chunk. I made that sand. And then the 3 lines above it were like, one was white, one was sort of I think just a light blue, and then the other one was like a teal or something like that. So it looked like you were the gradients of water, and then the main jersey was just the regular old navy blue, the royal blue, I should say. So that represented sort of the ocean. So you had the beach, and then you had the surf, and then you had the ocean, and then on the top with the shoulder yoke, I recreated those lines again. So you had the sand colored shoulder, and then the lines, the gradient lines, the white, the light blue, and then the somewhat darker blue. And then I had lighthouses on each shoulder, and then the regular Islanders logo in the middle. So like the idea was like it was a beach in jersey form. And I thought like this was the sort of creativity I was putting into it. And again, you were limited to what they gave you, the options they had for you, whether it was logo or jersey or numbers or whatever. And I thought that was kind of a cool idea. I didn't think anybody else would get it. I think I may have written in the box, it's the island, just it's the beach in jersey form, or something like that. But that's the kind of thing that I was looking for, more sort of just one different color in there, taking a base jersey that we'd seen before with some different options. But this, again, like we've said, they went with jerseys that are very basic. That doesn't mean bad, but just we were expecting a little bit more. I mean, of these, I'm not even sure what would be the most creative. I guess it might be that curved Islanders wordmark one that might be, and the fisherman one with the teal that might kind of be the most creative ones. The 2 orange ones, the Oilers one and the NY one, aren't particularly creative at all. But I wish there were more options than just dark blue or orange. Like, I just wish there was something more than that. And I don't know, maybe the players don't want to wear any colors other than that, but we've seen them wear dark blue third jerseys. We've seen them wear orange third jerseys. I was kind of expecting something a little bit different, but I don't know. We'll see. But otherwise, it was still a very good idea. And I think wherever you come out on the Islanders third jersey design contest, the one thing I think we can all agree on, and I don't know who needs to hear this, but I am begging you, please, for all things that are holy and all things that are Islanders, please, no more Kelly Cheeseman interviews. Like, we don't. This was his baby. He created this. He deserves a pat on the back and like, hey man, this was a great job, great idea. You did it. Congratulations. We don't need to hear from him anymore. We really don't. Like, if the Islanders win the Stanley Cup, then he can do all the interviews he wants. But until then, we don't need this. We don't need the podcast, like you were saying, the interviews. I mean, again, whoever the beat writers are at Newsday that we're literally talking to this guy 3 times a week for the last 3 weeks, please lose his number. just put the phone down when Kelly Cheeseman calls you. Like, we don't need to hear from this guy anymore. His job is done. Now let the hockey ops do their thing. So any final thoughts on the Islanders third jersey contest? By the way, one thing, actually, I'll throw it to you because you were kind of getting there. Other teams are definitely going to steal this idea, right? I mean, people made fun of the Islanders for having a car in the corner, and then the Anaheim Ducks started doing that shit too at some point. So people are definitely going to steal this idea, I feel, within the next year or two.
Yeah, absolutely, and they'll probably learn from the lessons, which is that
right.
They'll have some funk in it. Then
right.
I will say it's much better than I'll take this with the Kelly Cheeseman factor any day of the week over like the Colorado Avalanche wearing Quebec Nordiques jerseys and the Carolina Hurricanes wearing
Whalers.
It was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
true.
They'll definitely steal it, and I echo the sentiment about Kelly Cheeseman, and I say this, I made a point like this earlier about, I mean, we just did a tight 38 minutes on the Islanders jersey and contest, and to drive this point home that Islander fans are very, very passionate about the colors, the brand, the logo, the whole thing. And I don't know of another team like that. I also just don't know if I could name you one other president of business operations for another sports team either. Like, because they don't. Is the Minnesota Wild president of business operations sitting down with the NHL Network like every
Right.
other week?
Yeah.
You know, I just it's crazy how many times that this guy has stepped behind a microphone or in front of a camera in his
Yeah.
you know, when did they hire him in January? 7 months.
Yeah.
He's done. I would say he's probably done more media than Simon Holmstrom.
He's definitely done more media than either of the Islanders' two owners.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, that's very true.
and it's funny again, and I promise we'll get off of this because there was another topic we want to get to in the second half. But like, I was thinking about John Collins. Like, John Collins was a big deal. He was a big hire. He'd worked
Right.
at the NHL. He came to the Islanders presumably to like get their business operations going, with the hotel eventually coming, and obviously Belmont Park was still being worked on. We saw him do like maybe 1 or 2 interviews. He was at the Darsh Presser, which was on Labor Day weekend or Memorial Day weekend, which maybe he was the only guy around. I don't even know. And then that's it. We have not heard from John Collins since. I assume he's still working for the Islanders, but we don't know because he's gone completely underground, and Kelly Cheeseman has taken that role, and we don't need that.
It's just it's really weird. You said it right from the jump, which was like that. It's felt very Yormarkian.
Yes.
And it hasn't stopped feeling it at all. And I'm very nervous to hear what this guy has to think about the Islanders having 2 mascots. Because if he tries to touch Niles or Sparky, he's gonna have hell to pay. You know, because and if I have to hear the term challenger brand one more time, I'm gonna lose it, because we just don't need. The Islanders lexicon just doesn't need any corporates.
Right.
Like we're not. What the hell is a challenger brand? That is like a coffee shop that's taking on Starbucks.
Right.
We're not we're not doing that. There's just a hockey team that's playing hockey over there that's trying to win. They're trying to score more goals than the other team. It's not a challenger brand. They're just one of 32 hockey teams. And yeah, that's the type of stuff that got Brett Yormark essentially voted off this island, right? Like you just and I'm saying this as like a almost as a advice, you know.
Yeah,
I've been around the New York Islanders quite a lot longer than Kelly Cheeseman. I know what the seats smelled like at Nassau Coliseum, right? Like I would advise you, as desperate as you are to sound like a large language model, or to sound like you're writing a LinkedIn post at all times, just don't use that term. Don't use those corporates. Just put them in your pocket. You'll never have to use them here. You don't. You can just learn who Mariusz Czerkawski is. You can talk about the Polish Prince, you know, the Polish Prince. Add that to your lexicon, and take out challenger brand and all that stuff, because nobody is sitting there rooting like, oh boy, man, the Islanders' bottom line is catching up to the Rangers, our ROI from the season. No, we just want to beat those teams. That's it. So, and that goes to your point, which is the only way we're going to hear more of those terms is if this guy keeps giving interviews. So yeah, hopefully this idea, which once again, he deserves credit for, was a good idea. Hopefully this is the end of the Kelly Cheeseman media tour, but I've got bad news for you, Dan. The All-Star game is on Long Island, and I am telling you right now that there is no way that this is the end of the Kelly Cheeseman media tour.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I'm with you. I first heard challenger brand. I'll give you another example, is All Elite Wrestling, which Tony Khan, the owner, has called it a challenger brand because they know that they're never going to overtake, WWE, but they can challenge them and do that. And they've done great stuff. But like, my thing is, nothing drives me crazy, or few things drive me crazier in sports than a team that doesn't accomplish anything that has a loudmouth in their midst.
Right.
Like, I hate that. You know, I always think of, it was kind of before my time, but like a perfect example is like Don Cherry coaching the absolutely dreadful Colorado Rockies. Like, away from Bobby Orr and Phil Esposito, Don Cherry's just a loudmouth behind the bench. And like, that doesn't help anybody. And I just do not need that. You know, when this team accomplishes something and becomes a great winner, and again, a Stanley Cup contender, then Kelly Cheeseman can do interviews. Until then, the only guys I want to hear from are the GM, the coach, and the players. That's it. Nobody else. Right. And they better have the right answers too, because if they don't, people are going to be angry about a lot more than just a bunch of jerseys. But so, okay, we're going to take a little break. We're going to come back, and then we're going to talk about something else that we saw this week at The Athletic from our friends at The Athletic. Probably not what you're thinking, but maybe something else, but just meet us on the other side. Thanks. And now a word from our sponsors. VintageIceHockey.com. Over 100 classic hockey logos on t-shirts, jerseys, hats, mugs, and more. Long Island Ducks, Albany Riverettes, Danbury Trashers, Kentucky Thoroughblades, and so many more. Plus a full line of Islanders Anxiety merch with our portion of the sales going directly to the Center for Dementia Research. These incredible items cannot be found in stores, so shop VintageIceHockey.com today. Relax, sit back, and enjoy wine from The Pinot Project. Rosé, Pinot Grigio, or a Pinot Noir that was named a Best Buy by Wine Enthusiast magazine. These wines are delicious, affordable, and available at area wine shops and at UBS Arena. Learn more at thepinotproject.com. And please, drink responsibly.
If weight loss has felt like a losing battle, this summer can be different. Skip the guesswork and try Weight Loss by Hims. Access an affordable range of FDA-approved GLP-1 medications, including the Wegovy pill and the Wegovy pen, plus the support to actually stick with it. With Wegovy at Hims, lose up to 20% of your body weight when combined with diet and exercise. It helps you regulate your appetite, eat less, and keep weight off. Plus, Wegovy is the first ever GLP-1 pill for weight loss, so there are no needles needed. Through Hims, everything happens online. You'll connect with a licensed provider who will determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is delivered right to your door. No insurance necessary. Ready to reach your goals? Visit hims.com/FFSN to get a personalized, affordable plan that gets you. That's HIMS.com/FFSN. hims.com/FFSN. Weight Loss by Hims is not available in all 50 states. Wegovy is the registered trademark of Novo Nordisk AS. To get started and learn more, including important safety information, Wegovy clinical study information, and restrictions, visit hims.com.
You can get great clothes with free shipping by going to quince.com/islanders. I have clothes from Quince. My wife has bought clothes from Quince. My brothers-in-law, who are both much more stylish and professional than I am, have been buying from Quince for years. Whether you're keeping it casual, whether you're dressing up, whether you're going to the gym or the office or on vacation, Quince has exactly what you're looking for. Their clothes are very sharp looking, very comfortable, very durable, ethically sourced, and they are all very reasonably priced. In fact, a lot of their clothes are cheaper than most stores because they get their clothes directly from the factory. So upgrade your everyday. Download the Quince app for app-exclusive offers, or go to quince.com/islanders, where you get free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada and in the UK too. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/islanders.
This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach. A trip to the state fair. And a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
This episode is brought to you by Google Chrome. You think you know a browser, but Gemini and Chrome? That's new. It can help you with practically anything on the web, like restoring a vintage motorcycle from a 50-page restoration blog, or finally break down that long article you've had open for weeks. Gemini and Chrome is here for it. Ready to make anything online make sense? There's no place like Chrome. Check responses, setup required, compatibility and availability varies, 18+.
The perfect lunch combo. That first bite of your favorite sub, followed by ice-cold Pepsi. Add a couple of friends, and now that's next level. Suddenly, the laughs get louder, the stories keep flowing, and the food tastes better. Because Pepsi brings out more flavor, more fun, and more of the moment. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
Our second article tonight is from The Athletic. You may have seen it. It was sort of making the rounds a little bit. It's an article written by a bunch of different people, and the topic is projecting the 2030-31 NHL standings. Which teams will be competing for the Stanley Cup? No, I'm just kidding. This is the dumbest art. I will say, though, that I opened that article because I saw the word projecting standings an NHL, and I clicked on it, and the first team up was the San Jose Sharks. And I was like, wait, they think the Sharks are going to finish first this year? Then I looked again at the title, and I was like, wait, 20, 30, 31. And I loudly said, I was by myself in my office working. Nobody else was here. And I just loudly sat back and said, fuck off. Come on. 20, 30, 31 NHL standings. Get lost with this. Come on. Get out of here. This is stupid. What a waste of time. Well, and I said this to our Patreon in our chat. This is great evidence that more Canadian writers should have cabins for the summertime because they should more people should be there. No, we are talking about a different article that is the front office confidence rankings, which is a thing the Athletic does every year. The writers have their say, and then they put it out to the fans, and they get their say as well. No, excuse me. The public has their say, but then they also poll fans of that team to get their take. The first team up, with the best ranking in these front office confidence rankings is, of course, your reigning and defending Stanley Cup champion Carolina Hurricanes. They got A's and whatever across the board. Going down, 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 down. At number 20, between formerly Barry Trotz's, now Chris McFarland's Nashville Predators, and John Chayka's Toronto Maple Leafs. At number 20 are your New York Islanders. They got a C+. The public gave them a C+ in roster building, a C+ in cap management, a B in drafting and development, a C+ in trading, a C+ in free agency, a C+ in vision, and a B- in total score. I don't know how 5 C+ and a B equals a B-. Sounds more like a C+ to me, and we'll get into the fan bases stuff in a minute. Just overall, the Islanders having the 20th best, confidence, or people having the Islanders ranked 20th in a confidence of their front office. How does that sound to you? I think that, to me, that makes a lot of sense because, again, considering that this team has not accomplished anything in a very, very long time and has, in fact, missed the playoffs 3 times in the last 5 years. 20 almost seems like that's actually somewhat optimistic.
Yeah.
Maybe. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think like when you look at the teams that were downvoted more than them, I guess, like you see like the Bruins, the Jets, the Winnipeg Jets, given what the Jets have to contend with, like in terms of like their, the forces that going against them compared to the, like it's a lot harder for the Winnipeg Jets to be good than I think for any other team in the league. And I thought there'd be a couple of these teams would be in front of the Islanders. But yeah, I mean, I think that this is probably the range you'd expect them to be in, that like the bottom third, so to speak, of the league. And you wonder, once again, like this is the case for a lot of the Islanders' existence right now, which is like how much is the fact that like Matthew Schaefer is a New York Islander.
Yes.
Boosting things. Because that just changed the trajectory of everything, of course, and has put a little bit of shine on some of the stuff that the Islanders have done. But I don't disagree. Like I would say that when there's 32 teams in the league, you're 20th, which means that your fan base is below averagely confident in a GM, and I think that's really concerning when the GM has only been there for just over a calendar year, right? Like most of the other people, most of the other teams below the Islanders are either like just like a hot mess, like the Canucks or the Blackhawks, right? But a lot of them have had GMs, the majority of them behind the Islanders have had GMs in place for more than just 14 months or 15 months, however long. And I think that's the most concerning thing here is like, oh boy, like we're already on to this. Like this isn't good. Usually there, as you said, like the shortest honeymoon period you've ever seen. And that is certainly bearing out here. And yeah, I don't really disagree with the sentiment. So it's these things, no matter, you wonder, people are like, oh, I wonder if the team reads this stuff. Yeah, like this stuff gets finds its way to the team. Like there's people whose job it is to monitor the media, and so yeah, the team knows that I think the sentiment around the front office is where it is right now. I don't think that anybody in that building is like, oh man, the fans are just thrilled with the way things are going on the ice.
Right.
So I don't think it's a secret. And now when the Athletic puts its rubber stamp on it, it's true. Just like the 20, why are we even going to play the 20-30-31 season when we've already been told the San Jose Sharks have won Stanley Cup?
Surely the Sharks won't make any mistakes in the next 5 years to jeopardize their first, overall standing in that season.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that this looks, the Islander fan base looks just like they got this one right, because it's not a good report card. I remember getting my first report card freshman year in high school, and I was really bad at freshman year math right out the gate.
Me too.
And had to go to a progress report meeting. My first progress report, so like 4 or 5 weeks into high school, I had to go with my mom to meet my teacher, and he's like, "Yep, nope, Mike's really struggling at math right now, and he needs to like do everything he can to stay above the cut line, as it were." And this is freshman year, first semester or first trimester of freshman year. So that doesn't bode well for the rest. The math gets harder, wouldn't you know? And I would say that the same is true for Matthew Darsh, which is like, this is your first progress report freshman of freshman year, and you're looking at a lot of D's and C's. It's gonna get harder. So you might want to do a better job and stop fooling around in the back of the classroom with the jersey contests and stuff, and maybe
you were way ahead of the game. You were doing this 20 years ago. Yeah. But no, I think that's a perfect segue too, because the team definitely knows about this. And the reason is because I just read off before the public, how non-Islanders fans see the Islanders. They gave them C pluses, a couple of Bs, and it kind of averages out to a B minus, which again, almost sounds like positive. The fan base is in a totally different stratosphere. And this is the first time I could remember seeing this in this way. Like normally the Islanders fan base was a lot higher on the Islanders because we felt more comfortable with Lou Lamoriello in charge. We knew the players more. We had higher hopes for them, and everybody else was looking at them like, who the hell are these guys? Why don't they have any beards? And we knew the real story, that they were pretty good. This is the exact opposite of that.
Right.
So the fan base gives them a C in roster management, a D plus in cap management. Like D plus, really? Like what's the difference between a D plus and a D minus and a D? It's still a D no matter what, right? Draft and develop is still B. Obviously, that's the Schaefer effect you were talking about before. Trading, D. Just a flat D, as opposed to the C plus trading. Like that's a big swing. C plus / B minus versus D. That's a big swing, and this is
you don't get a parent teacher meeting for a C plus. You do get one for a D.
For D, and this is if drafting and developing is a B, according to the fan base, because of Matthew Schaefer and probably some other guys as well. That whole draft was Victor Eklund, Keyshawn Aitchison, all these guys. The D is the Braden Shen effect, or the Andre Palat effect, if you will. One or the other. People are still mad about it. They're still salty about it. And then free agency C minus, which again, they got a C plus from the public. So, I mean, again, it's sort of a good swing there. C plus in vision either way, which is just the most milquetoast meh, grade you can give somebody. And then overall, they got a C. So a full letter grade and a half, because remember, the public gave them a B minus. So like, this is, or I should say a full letter grade below. Like, this is not good. Like, we can clown on the Athletic all we want, and we do, for sure. But like, if this is still a poll of Islanders fans, and if you're working for the team, if you're Kelly Cheeseman and you're working for the team and you look at this, you're like, man, they're not happy with this. And what's funny is like their ranking last year was 15th, and Matthew Darsh hadn't even done anything. All he did was draft Matthew Schaefer and have a good draft and trade Noah Dobson, and they have some quotes down here also. Darsh doesn't seem to have a clear plan, at least not one he's willing to stick to. He talks a good game about building with youth and then trades for Palat and Shen, signs Pajot to an extension rather than dealing veterans. And like, this is the kind of stuff we hear all the time. And so none of this is surprising to me, whether it's the 20th placement or the fans being mad about this. But I do hope, and I mean, you're joking, but at the same time, I in a way, I do hope that people see this, whether it's people who work for the Islanders or just fans themselves reading this going like, man, they're really mad. Like, yeah, hell yeah, we're mad, and this, of course, is also, the context is important. We're talking about 5 years of not really doing anything. The 2021 season, this team came in as a legitimate Stanley Cup contender and have only gotten worse since then. They're on their third coach now since then. Their second GM, captain was allowed to leave, and that move in and of itself is not a bad move, but still, he's not here anymore. They've had goalie issues, and Varlamov might come back, maybe he doesn't. Ilya Sorokin is still great. He had a great season last year, but broke down after a while. They've had a million backup goalies, and a lot of these players are still here from this time, and people aren't happy about it. And then the new guys are not happy about it either. So I just thought it was very funny looking at it and being like, this is the first time I can remember these two, they've done this thing before. And this is the first time I can remember these two lists having this relationship where the public was a lot higher on the Islanders, like palpably, visibly, clearly higher on the Islanders than the fan base. It's always been the opposite. It's always been people dismissing the Islanders. Oh, those guys suck. They're boring. Forget about them. And fans being like, no, you guys don't understand. This team is really, really good. They're one or two players from being very, very good. And now it's the exact opposite, where people are like, oh yeah, the Islanders, they're pretty good, I guess. And the Islanders fans are being like, no, you don't understand. These guys fucking suck. They suck. They suck. The GM sucks. Their drafting seems okay. They have a pretty good pipeline now, but all these other guys suck. This is the first time I'm seeing this. So I read this and was like, wow, that's weird.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% spot on. It is the first time that it seems like that. And it's weird that it's happening like that, right? It's probably got a lot to do with like the Islanders being out there in the media a lot more and doing
possibly,
these, the stunts and stuff, which is like,
why are they designing jerseys when they should be making trades?
Yeah. And they're like, oh no, like the Islanders are cool, man. C+. Like the vision's pretty good actually. Like they just did a cool thing on social media. And Islander fans are like, no, man, like we fucking hate this team. Yeah, I think it's concerning, and the Islander fan base will always tell you how it feels about the direction of the team. And I don't mean that like by Matthew Darsh going into Bagel Boss and somebody being like, you fucking suck at your job. I mean, they just won't show up. Like the Islander fans just aren't going to come. Like the seats will be empty. It's not like the Rangers or other big ticket places where the team could be bad and it's still a thing to do in New York City and tourists are coming in and like, oh yeah, we're going to go check out the Rangers and then go out in the city. No, like if the Islanders are bad in November next year, the building's going to be half full for a long time, and you can do as many jersey design contests as you want. It's not going to bring people out. What's going to bring people out is a good team, or a team that they can just get behind, and that's not how anyone's viewing it, or I should say, the majority of people aren't viewing it.
Right.
And it's being told in anecdotally by folks like us and other Islander podcasts and other people, other Islander fans who just, when you have your conversations about the team, and also now in terms of one of the I guess the main hockey outlets, for better or worse, with I don't know how many Islander fans are polled in it, but I'm guessing it's less than 80,000, but more than 8.
But yeah, that's true. They don't say.
But it's probably a pretty representative. If these people are paying a subscription to read about the Islanders, they are going to be pretty important, big fans, and I don't like, if you told me to cover up the report card thing here and then lift my hand and kind of guess or give my own opinion, I think I'd land pretty close to this. I think you'd land pretty close to this, and that's what we've been. These are the alarm bells that we've sort of been ringing for a little while now, and I'm glad that you can kind of just see it in a very succinct form
Yes.
now.
Right.
That like, see, like this isn't
Right.
going as well as
Mm.
you think it is because the team is
Right.
having its president of business operations on the trendiest hockey podcast out there.
Right.
I don't,
Well,
I don't, I don't. This to me is pretty cut and dry.
right. And if you're, I mean, we're joking about Kelly Cheeseman, but like if you're Matthew Darsh, and I mean, you see this, I can't imagine any GM is like, changing their strategy over an article at the Athletic, but like maybe somebody, in media relations or whatever might look at it and be like, you think you made a great deal for Braden Shen because of all of the tools that he brings, but fan base doesn't think that. They're not thinking the same way, and so I think it could be a potential wake up call. But again, I don't think that they should. I doubt they're gonna change anything because of this. But it's a pretty good estimation of like the way people feel right now, and it feels that way. I know we joke about you know Islanders fans on social media or like out there and different places. A lot of times we can just be like, yeah, whatever, man, it's just noise. But I don't know, this feels pretty representative to me, so I thought it was really kind of neat. A couple other things from this list that I thought were fun, not Islanders related. One, at 22 were the Anaheim Ducks. The tough negotiator, Pat Verbeek, does it again. Basically, everything was going great for the Ducks until the Flyers offer sheeted Leo Carlson, and then the whole thing went to hell. I thought that was kind of fun. What else we got? If anybody's ever seen the great movie Summer School, starring Mark Harmon, Kirstie Alley, there are two guys in that movie. These two like stoner, wastoid guys who are deep into horror movies. One's played by Dean Cameron. I don't remember who the other guy is. If those two guys were NHL teams in this poll, they would be the Columbus Blue Jackets and LA Kings, who basically got D's across the board. that's these two guys. Take a seat, guys. Where should we take them? Like that kind of thing. So good work, Columbus and LA, getting D's all across the board. So there you go, finishing in 28th and 29th. But coming in 32nd, dead last in this poll of front office confidence among NHL fans and the public is none other than Broadway's own, the New York Rangers. D minus, D plus, C minus, D from the public. That C minus is in free agency. And then fan base says D minus, D minus, D, C minus, D minus, and then a D minus total. Hilarious. They were 28th last year, and somehow they managed to find an even worse spot this year. Remember, this is a team that traded for Pavel Dorofeev. They acquired a bunch of guys who I thought might be okay. Who else did they get this year? They traded they traded Trocheck, and they got some like
Dursey.
They got Sean Dursey. They got some other prospects back.
Pedersen. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Marcus Pedersen,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Who's supposed to be paired up. So like these were pretty notable, and they signed Dorofeev to that big ass contract.
Oh,
or whatever.
right. And they signed Islander for about 10 minutes, Oliver Bjorkstrand.
Right. Yeah. Right. And so like that's not a bad offseason, but according to Rangers fans, this is the worst team in the NHL. And according to the public, they're not far from wrong. So I thought that was fun. I didn't even look for the Rangers, and then I kept scrolling down. I was like, wait, they're in the bottom? That's amazing. So hopefully everybody's right about this one.
I know, yeah, it's a little scary to me.
I know, right?
I like when the Rangers are being built up a bit, and because but this is a little frightening. But you can't really disagree with this one either, with the way things have gone. I mean, there's only one GM in the league that like blackmailed one of his alternate captains into waiving his loophole him his no trade clause to a place he didn't want to go, and had his captain run out of town via his wife being doxxed. So I think that there's only one GM in the league that let that all happen in the past couple of years. So I don't disagree with the sentiment. So it's getting those last chuckles in at the Rangers before a new season starts is nice, but yeah, once the season starts, it's gonna be like, oh man, I'm sure that these guys are just gonna start getting all the bounces again because that's how my brain gets rewired. But
Yeah.
luckily, we got some time. Only a month and change because the season starts earlier this year because of the.
That's right.
You gotta get those 83rd and 84th games in. You just gotta 82 not enough.
Right.
Gotta get those 84th in. So
well, yeah. So soon we'll be recording our normal slate of shows. But you know who's already on the ice at the Matt Martin hockey camp? It's our beautiful large adult son Matthew Schaefer, who's out there playing with the kids, play fighting with the kids. Hanging out, doing commercials, tying his shoes for Noble commercials a million times, and it's great seeing him out there. I gotta tell you, I did not expect to see him on the ice at Northwell Health in mid-August, but I don't know, made me feel really good that he's out there again, hanging with Matt Martin and doing all that. Yeah. And I mean, Islanders are doing stuff. Kyle Palmieri has been doing stuff all summer. Ryan Pulock has been out there too, skating. We got a report that Oliver Wallstrom was among the Islanders group that is skating out at Northwell.
And Max Siplikov.
Max Siplikov as well. That's right.
Thank you. I'm not going. Yeah. Kyle, I'll play for the Flames from over here.
Yeah. So I don't know what all that means, but it's nice seeing these guys out there. And no, it's cool. So I mean, they don't have to be here doing this, but I mean, they're gonna be back for camp, sure enough. Anyway, but I thought that was pretty cool seeing Schaefer out there at the hockey camp. He doesn't have to. The kid won every award you can win last year, and he could have enjoyed a couple more days off, but he'd rather be on the ice with the kids. So that was amazing.
It goes back to that old kind of PTSD we have, which is that not totally sure if the Islanders are going to show up this season. Right. Like who's going to play for the Islanders? Well, they've still got like 7 roster spots to fill out. Is Victor Kozlov? He's okay. Yeah, good. He's still out there. Great. We'll get him in here. We'll bring in Mike Dunham to be the backup goalie because I just saw him on a boat in Maine, and we don't have
your boy Radek.
Yeah, Radek. Radek. Yeah, Radek's still around. Great. Radek, we need you one more time if you don't mind, just because we couldn't fill out a roster. Yeah, so that's it. When I start seeing these guys pop back up at Iceworks or Northwell, I'm like, phew, looks like we're going to be able to field the team this year.
Yeah, right.
It's nice to see, even if it is Max Siplikov playing for the Flames, playing for the Islanders. It's nice to see, yeah.
Or Oliver Wallstrom playing for nobody now, right?
Boy, yeah. God, I can't wait. I wonder, do you think he knows that the Islanders AHL team is now in Hamilton? Hey, wow, you want to sign an AHL deal? Yeah.
He probably doesn't know, but that Josh Hosang knows.
Yeah,
so let's see if we can get.
Man, imagine we could get a Wallstrom Hosang top line.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
I'm into it. And while you're mentioning like sort of old places around the island, or old Islanders practice facilities and places where Islanders are known to pop up, we could end with this. There was an article in the Post about Brandon Bussey. This was published a couple of weeks ago. Obviously bringing the Stanley Cup to Long Island as a member of the Hurricanes. And where did he bring it? The rinks in Hauppauge, which is very famous amongst Islanders fans as well. So I am not happy that the Hurricanes won, but Bussey seems like a good dude, and bringing the cup to Suffolk County wins you some points in my book. So apparently, I guess it never says that he grew up a Rangers fan, but his or an Islanders fan. I think he did grow up a Rangers fan, but he said he honored the first ever Long Islander to host it, defenseman Rob Scuderi of Syosset, and brought it to Broncos on the Nautical Mile in Freeport. So good to Brandon Bussey bringing the Stanley Cup back to Long Island, something the Islanders have not been able to do in the last 40 plus years. The Islanders can't even bring a friggin' division championship to Long Island, let alone a Stanley Cup. So good on him for doing that. When I saw the rinks in Hauppauge, my mind just like snapped. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that place was still even in business. That's crazy. But maybe Lord Business can pop in there as well. Okay. Thanks for listening. This was a surprise episode. We didn't think we were going to be able to do this today. Today was a crazy day for me. My sisters and I closed on the sale of my parents' house. We sold it today, which is kind of a weird feeling. My parents are there obviously too, but it was a weird feeling. So I was actually out in East Islip today signing a bunch of papers and didn't know if I was going to make it tonight. And I'm glad I did, because this was a lot of fun. we can tell you that we will be back for our first episode of the season on September 21st. We're going to record on the 20th, and Monday, September 21st, will be our first official episode of our 11th season of Islanders Anxiety. We got tons of stuff still going on at the Patreon, mailbag posts, Country Club Atmospheres, book club posts, things like that. But for those of you listening on the main feed, September 21st will be the first official episode of Islanders Anxiety Season 11. And then from there, you know it, Weird Islanders Anxiety all season long, and whatever else we can pop up with. It's exciting, and we're getting there. we're almost there. About a month to go. Yeah, you're getting ready. I mean, you're back from vacation. You think you're ready to let the Islanders in a little bit more than you have this summer?
Yeah, I am. I hate to admit it, but I was like searching for Maple Leafs like radio hit today, because I was like, I got, I listened to some Premier League stuff, some cricket stuff, and my rest is history stuff. I like to keep for like whether I'm either like running or something, and or doing something that I know I'm gonna like. It's gonna take some time to. And I was like, I gotta find some Leaf stuff. I haven't listened to any Leaf stuff in a while, which is. And none of our boys are back behind the mics. They're still at the cabins, which is a little disappointing. So I couldn't really even find any of that. But that was the first sign. You're ready for hockey season when you're looking for someone to tell me how good it is that Morgan Riley's going to be back with the Leafs after they totally said that there's no way Morgan's back. So.
And here he comes.
Here he comes.
I'm glad you mentioned that, though, because in case you were wondering, yes, we will be doing something on the John Tavares tax trial, which has been going on. I would like to wait for a resolution or something before we do it, because I want to be able to tie it all up in one thing.
There's two different federal courts involved here.
Yeah,
our lawyers are involved. We can't, we don't want to record something and then have those two federal courts plus the Tavares camp come after us. So our lawyers are advising us to just wait on this one.
Yes. So that we're going to do that.
Taxes.
What's that?
Just and a reminder, just pay your taxes.
Yeah, please pay your taxes. They're very, very important, and they could come up years and years later, because if you want a sneak preview, please do search of John Tavares tax trial, and you'll see some fun quotes there. And they're asking him about stuff that happened in late June 2018. No spoilers here, but we will be covering that, I'm sure, in a very special episode of Mass Leaf Theater that I already have a title for, that I will tell you once we are off the air here. But thank you for listening. Again, we'll be back September 21st for our first episode of the season. In the meantime, patreon.com/Islanders Anxiety. You get all our stuff there. Sign up for the Country Club tier. Shop VintageIceHockey.com. Try wines from the Pinot Project. And we will start talking to you again regularly in about a month or so. All right. So take care. Talk to you later.